Hello, this is Mr. Wynn. Today's video will be on 6-3, square root functions and inequalities. So, if a function contains the square root of a variable, it's called a square root function. The square root function is a type of radical function. So, radicals are that square root sign. So, there's the parent function, y equals square root of x. There's the domain, 0 to positive infinity. There's the range, 0 to positive infinity. So, intercepts is just 0, 0. There's no line of symmetry. It's not defined for x less than 0. You can't have a square root of a negative number. That's imaginary. And end behavior just keeps increasing. And there's a minimum. There's no maximum. There's a bottom but no top. So y'all need to know standard form. This is not a formal chart, but it's what we used before. So f of x equals a square root x minus h and square root plus k. A does the same thing it's always done. A makes it taller or wider. Remember, tall also means skinny, wide means fat. H moves it left and right. Now it's opposite. So if it's plus 5, that means left 5. If it was minus 10, that's really right 10. Then K moves it up or down. So make sure those three things. Remember, we always start at 0, 0. So start at 0, 0. If you know that, you should be able to do all this really easily. This is a pretty short section, actually. All right, so graph this, then identify domain and range. It's a square root function. There's no a, so it's not tall or wide, it's just normal. But this means it is going left 6. This means it's going up 2. So instead of starting at 0, 0, I'm going to go left 6. Now, if you want to do those marks, you can. So left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then up 2, so 1, 2. I'm starting right there. If you want to put that, that is negative 6, comma 2. It's a normal graph, so I'm going to draw a regular square root. Looks like this. All right, now domain and range. Domain, how far left to go? Well, so domain, the farthest left it goes is negative 6 for x, and it counts it. The farthest right it goes is positive infinity. It doesn't end. Now you could say x negative 6. Well, is it left or right of negative 6? Is x bigger or smaller? It's bigger because it goes right. So that's one. The range is how low to how high. Well, the lowest is 2, and it counts. And the highest is infinity. And if you don't like that, you could say y 2. Well, it's above 2, so y is greater than or equal to 2. And that's it. So again, make sure you know how to read A, H, K, graph it, pretty simple, domain range. Here's a little harder one. So always do H and K first. So that negative 3 means it is going right 3, opposite. That plus 4 means it's going up 4. That 2 means it is taller and skinnier. And that negative means it's flipped, so we still flip it. Flipped upside down. All right, so now I graph it. So instead of starting 0, 0, I go right 3. I'm not going to do the marks. I'm going to go up 4, so about right here. Now it's going to be taller, means it goes straight up and down faster, and it's flipped upside down. So instead of doing this, and I'll show you, just this would kind of be normal. I'm going to make it taller, like that. All right, so not the red line, the blue line. The red line is the normal one. So that's what it means to be taller. So let's see, that point right here is positive 3, positive 4. Right, now we answer domain and range, then we're done. So domain, how far left, how far right? Well, left 3, right infinity. And if you don't want that, you could say x 3, oh, x is to the right, so bigger than or equal to 3. For the range, how low to how high? Well, it goes down forever, negative infinity. But the highest it gets, the maximum is 4, and it counts. If you don't like that, you could say y 4. It's below 4, so it's less than or equal to 4. So this does have a maximum point, but no minimum. This other one has a minimum, but no maximum. And remember, the value is the y part, so minimum value of 2. This one has a maximum value of 4. All right, and the last thing is be able to do an inequality. Inequality is the same thing we've been doing. Graph like normal, but do the test point. So we've been using 0, 0. Sadly, you can't always do that anymore. So let me show you how this works. So first, graph it like normal. So -4 means right 4. That -6 means down 6. Lucky we're not flipping or making taller or wider. Now this sign means it's dotted. And we gotta do shading by doing test point. So let me graph it first. So let's see, right 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down 6, somewhere down here. Regular, but it's dotted. So here's the picture. And that is 4, 6. Now remember, we cannot go left of this picture because this right here is our boundary. Otherwise, it's gonna be undefined. Because you can't have a negative number. If I use 3, for example, 3 minus 4 is -1. That's imaginary. We're gonna try to keep it real. So we gotta pick a test point. So what's a nice test point? Well, as you can see, I could do anything on this part right here. So I know 5, 0. Yeah. Sorry, that's a -6. So I know 5, 0 is usable. Or if I wanted to, I could say maybe 1,000,000, 0, but I probably wouldn't do that. So let's use this test point. I'm going to use, or better yet, you are allowed to use something straight above this. All right, that does work. So let's use the point 4, 0. That's our test point. I'm going to plug it in and see if it's true. If it's true, shade with the test point, meaning above. If it's false, shade in the area without the test point, meaning below. So you're going to be above the curve of the picture or below the picture. We're avoiding the whole left side. So I'm going to say let's avoid this left area. Don't go over here. This red area is bad. Or instead of bad, let me just draw X there. Big X. Avoid that area. So let's put in 4, 0. 0 for Y. 4 for X. And we treat it as equals, not equal sign. Square root of 4 minus 4 minus 6. Well, 4 minus 4 square root of 0. Square root of 0 is just 0. 0 is smaller than -6. True or false? That's false. So my test point, my guess was wrong. So I do want to shade the other side. I'm shaded down here. So here's my shading. Right. Let me show you what that looks like on Desmos. So let's see. Desmos. Start graphing. Y is less than the square root x minus 4 outside square root minus 6. If I look at this, it's just like I have it. The starting point is right here, 4, -6, and you shade underneath it, and it's dotted. See how they avoided the left side? You avoid this area. Alright, so that's it for the video. Here's a practice problem. Try graphing it and shading it. There's the answer. If you can do that, you should be fine for the class. This is Mr. Wynn. Thanks for watching. See you in class.